a decision to subtitle a Fossil Clad as Spanish language film, Roma, for Spanish audiences, has left the Oscar-winning director filming. It was, he told Spain's El País newspaper, provocative, ignorant and offensive. But why subtitle Spanish for a Spanish audience? Well, Roma is set in Mexico, and therefore the actors for the most part speak Mexican Spanish. It appeared that Netflix and the film's distributors in Spain feared local audiences would not understand the differences. For Juan, who is Mexican, the decision was ridiculous. One of the things I most enjoy is the color and texture of other accents, he argued. As a result of the outcry, Netflix changed the subtitle option on its streaming menu from European Spanish, which turned dialogue into Castilian, to Spanish, which transcribes what is actually spoken on screen, and dropped subtitles from cinema screenings. But this is not the first time such an issue has come up. Indeed, the problem of when to subtitle or not subtitle English speakers crops up again and again across the world. Back in 2006, scouts were puzzled to find a group of North Sea fishermen had been subtitled in the BBC when documentary series Trawlermen, especially as, according to Stuart Stevenson, member of the Scottish Parliament for Bacon, they had already slowed down their speech to ensure they could be understood. The BBC said the show's stars were happy to be subtitled, even acknowledging themselves that they might be hard to understand. But even so, Mr. Stevenson argued, it raised the question of where the line should be drawn when it came to subtitling. I think if we are going to discriminate on the matter of subtitles, then we should subtitle every regional accent, he told the Scotsman. I remember trying to watch the first episode of EastEnders and switching it off because I could not understand what was being said. But can incautious use of subtitles tip from being merely offensive into being racist? The Guardian's Mark Lawson has certainly suggested there is a risk even if it is unintentional. Speakers with Scottish and American regional accents are regularly subtitled in British programs, and the captions are also sometimes employed when the soundtrack is indistinct. Because, for instance, of surreptitious recording, he wrote in a 2012 article, but due to the history of skin color discrimination, the technique is inevitably most sensitive when it appears to be penalizing some accented black speakers for failing to deliver their contributions in what ought to be called the Queen's, or BBC English. The article came after questions were raised over a 2012 BBC documentary, The Secret History of Our Streets. The series, people noted at the time, only subtitled some of its interviewees, leading some to suggest an element of racism in the decision. Why on earth did you find it necessary to give subtitles for any contributor from the Caribbean or Africa? Wondered one commenter on the producer's blog. After it aired, they were all easy to understand. MTV Australia has also found itself in trouble over subtitles only. These ones did not exist. The channel's Twitter account joked that the United States Latino actresses, America Ferrera and Eva Longoria, needed subtitles because they had no idea what was saying during a 2016 awards show. Disgusting and in extremely poor taste. When Twitter user responded, the network immediately took the post down. and apologized. Ingrid Piller, a professor of applied linguistics at Sydney's Macquarie University, noted that at times subtitling accents appeared to be more a matter of ideology and identity than intelligibility. In the 2011 blog post, the pattern is obvious. Native speakers of English are proven to be universally intelligible on Australian TV, even if theirs is a distant and obscure dialect, she wrote, after watching a number of Australian television programs. The speech of non-native speakers, by contrast, is presented as problematic and unintelligible even if they speak educated standard English. But then, not subtitling can also cause problems, as an Irish television channel, discovered earlier this year, decided against subtitling a farmer from County Kerry, whose sheep had been stolen. The result, he became an instant social media star, as Irish Twitter users tried to work out what he was saying. So why subtitle? Well, the key reason was summed up by the BBC back in 2006. The subtitles were added, the spokesman explained, so the stories being told by the trawlermen were not lost. As a result, 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with kids to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlea in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Subtitl. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths. The Interior Ministry statement said, a poacher has been ordered to watch the Disney film Bambi repeatedly after he was convicted of illegally killing hundreds of deer. Missouri hunter David Barry, Jr., must view the film at least once a month during his year-long sentence. He was arrested in August along with 2 family members for killing the deer, taking their heads and leaving their bodies to rot. Prosecutors said, it is reportedly one of the biggest poaching cases in Missouri history. On top of the jail sentence for the illegal deer hunting, Judge Robert George ordered Barry Jr. to view the Walt Disney movie Bambi, with the first viewing being on or before December 24, 2018, and at least one such viewing each month thereafter. During his spell in prison, the 1942 cartoon about woodland creatures shows a hunter kill the mother of eponymous deer character Bambi. A months-long investigation, spanning several states, led to the arrest of Barry Jr., his father David Barry, Sr., and his brother Kyle Barry, according to local newspaper, the Springfield News Leader. While the total number of deer taken illegally is unknown, Lawrence County's conservation agent Andy Barnes said it could be several hundred. Barry Jr. received a year-long sentence in Lawrence County Prison after pleading guilty to illegally taking wildlife. He has also been sentenced to a 120-day term in Barton County Prison for a firearms probation violation, and both he and his father had their hunting privileges revoked for life by the Missouri Conservation Commission. 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with kids to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imlea in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Subtitl. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths. The Interior Ministry statement said, the United States military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group Al-Shabaab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 4 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28, it said in a statement. This was the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants. Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States in January 2017. A tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined.